It's Sunday evening, and again a weekend, the second weekend with my reMarkable Paper Pro. A really fantastic device with some limitations, some advantages, and I do thank you very much for all of your feedback, your comments, and the videos that have been obviously helpful to you, that you are still following me. And I will therefore answer a couple of questions that you have asked in the comments, which are too long to just, type under the in these little sections under the videos. And apart from that, I think it's much more valuable that I give you again a visible feedback and show you some things that you were interested in, namely the comparison of the Gallery 3 display on the reMarkable Paper Pro with the Kaleido 3 display on the Onyx Books Tab Ultra C. Also, not so easy name for a foreign speaker. Okay, but these two devices are fairly different, and I've made a comparison, showing you a couple of documents and a couple of pages, and going into close-ups with the macro lens as well, to show you how these two devices compare. Let's get into it. So here we have again the reMarkable Paper Pro and the Onyx Books Tab Ultra C. By the way, it's not the Pro version, but it is, they have released the Pro version half a year later, and I was a little bit disappointed about that. But this is the non-Pro version. But still, it's a very decent device. What you see here also is on my desk. This one is relatively solid because of the little rubber things here, feet, whatever you call that, and it is really not moving a lot. You can use it for writing, and it's a minor thing, but it makes a huge difference. And this one is moving around in all directions, and it has this camera bump here, which is honestly to me absolutely useless. I think it's intended for document scanning, but I never used it. And I have tried to stick on some rubber feet myself, but because in last summer it was quite hot, they have fallen off, and now they are gone again, and I'm not going to change that. Second thing is, if you compare these two devices here, you will also see that the screen is much more reflective in the case of the Onyx Books Go. Of course, you have a certain amount of reflection also here on this screen, but it's much less intrusive and disturbing from my point of view. And I think you can live with that. So now I have here a Lamy pen, which provides two nibs. One is for real paper, so you can really write on actual paper, not on my skin, but maybe I have some paper here. Let me check. So, and you see that works. And you have then this switch mechanism, and you can use this to work on any ESR compatible device. As we already know, the reMarkable Paper Pro and also some other devices, some other Windows tablets, some Chromebooks like the Pixel book from 2017 and so on, use an active stylus technology, and then they are not compatible. Now, this is not a major problem, but I think it is a little bit disappointing. And for those having, like me, already a couple of, I have a Wacom pen, I have this one, I have a couple of nibs, and it would have been nice if reMarkable used the same technology. Now, here is this device, the Onyx Books Pro, and this is the reMarkable Paper Pro. You already see here, Well, honestly, the lighting doesn't really tell it, but it's darker than this one. This is still a little bit brighter. This has the dark tint to it. It's just that in the camera it looks much, much brighter than it actually is because of the because of my lightings here. Now let's check. Both lightings. Front light is turned off here, and it's turned off here as well. So you have exactly the comparison as it is. Now what I'm using here is not the Neo reader. I mean, I can use it, but I use the Book Fusion application. This one, you may know this. This has a web interface, and it has an iOS and an Android application. Because I'm a crossover guy, I have a MacBook Pro. I had an iPhone until recently, and I've now switched to a Pixel Pro Fold because of the screen real estate of the foldable phones. And I've also a Chromebook, and therefore I need simply cross-platform features. And this application, okay, this is the next thing, which is maybe something I didn't want to show this in this video, but there's an update. So I didn't go into the Google Play Store and update the application. So it says you should update this application. This is never going to happen on this device because I simply, button on, button off, and if I turn it on, it's there. And honestly, for a note-taking device, especially if I need it for work, this is absolutely reliable. And yes, I understand, I'm a hacker myself, but I need this reliability. Okay. So here you clearly see a significant difference. So this is much brighter. It has a much, much brighter background, and it has much more readable colors. This one is almost yes, it's a dark blue, but this is like a dark brownish. You can barely read the text any longer, and you see how difficult it is here to see the text font. Yeah, here you have a yellow background and the black text, and here you can't read it almost at all. The second thing you see is that here you have really a decent size of the text. I mean, I can still read it on this device. It's okay for me. But again, the darkness of the screen and the small font size for me is not ideal. Of course, on this device, the sharpness is reduced. That's for sure. And then, at the end of the day, it's a personal preference. And maybe this is from the left side, just this is a full screen refresh. I think it's okay, but the picture quality on this device is definitely much, much better. Yeah, and it's also, by the way, yeah, I think it's also faster. Yeah, maybe that's one more comment to the feedback I've received in some of your comments, and I think this has to be mentioned as well. The refreshing on this device, yes, it causes some flickering and updates, but on the other hand, this is the part of the time when you really don't read anyway. You just turn the page. This is the time when it's almost irrelevant what the device does. The static image has to be perfect, and when I compare these two, I prefer the picture of this one. It has the better colors. It has the larger screen real estate by a significant amount, to be fair. Yeah, this is not negligible. This is really huge. And the contrast is much better because the background here is very dim. Yeah, and this makes a significant difference for me. Blue, you can recognize this is blue. This is grayish with a tint of blue, but it's not very pleasant. The white is definitely brighter here. So you see already there is a different picture quality. What about commenting? There was a question, can I only write on new documents? I mean, can I only annotate and use the handwriting feature on notes documents which are open on this device? And the answer is a clear no. You can write everywhere. So this is an ebook, and I can definitely start now to annotate this. And again, as long as you do not change the font settings and this reflow issue that because of the changed size, because obviously the device remembers the position like with coordinates on a page number. And if you have now the reflow, then it will not stick again to the text or paragraph where you intended to put your notes. So don't reflow, don't change the settings after you started annotation. Choose your settings before and then leave it as it is. Otherwise, you have strange issues. I think this could be changed with a software update, because there is a way of recalculating the flow and then adjusting it to or linking it to a specific part of the text. But this is challenging and requires some software development that may not be done so far by reMarkable, but maybe they add this feature in the future. Then you have, of course, the option to do this annotation with the marker, which is then aligned to the screen. Yeah, and here you see now a very, very clear difference. What you see here on the left side is absolute perfect photo quality with yellow color, orange. Yes, this is dark. This is also dark here. But on the other hand, here, this is all very, very, dark and obscure in a way. I don't say it's bad. I loved this device when I first bought it, because still at least you have a little bit of color. But again, this beats that one with respect to color representation. Now I will at this moment interrupt the video and will again use my macro lens and do now a close-up of these two, because here we have color and we have text, and we have text here. I think it was necessary that you could see these both devices from a normal reading distance, because you are not pixel peeping with your eyes, and your eyes are not a macro lens either. So this is nice for the comparison, and this is interesting to show you, but in real life, this is what you're going to see. And there you have a clear difference. And now if you say, well, Android is so important for me and the crispness of the font is much better, I need to go for this, well, then this is your device. And if you say, I prefer the brighter background and the popping colors, and my eyes are not like a macro lens anymore because I'm 51 and I see it from a normal reading distance similar, I don't really recognize the font crispness, sharpness from this distance, then maybe this is your device. Now, before I close this video, let's again do some close-ups, and I will do this now with a macro lens. Now here you see now the close-ups with the macro lens, and we start with the reMarkable Paper Pro. You see here that the image is optimized for photo quality, so the text is a little bit thin, but still very well readable, and you see the refresh, how it works. You see the popping colors, in particular the bright yellow, and how the colors mix and how the dithering of this screen technology works. But of course, yes, this screen is optimized for color and for photo representation, but still has a decent readability of the black text. Now let's switch to the Onyx Books Tab Ultra C, where you also clearly see this overlay, this RGB filter with a 45-degree angle pattern over it, but you also see that the text is smoother and crisper. The colors, however, are more shallow and matte compared to the previous screen, and for mainly they are not realistic in any shape or form. So this is not really a yellow this is brownish or whatever, but it is usable, but it is not comparable to the reMarkable Paper Pro. So I hope you found this comparison useful, and yeah, you can now even better make up your mind if the reMarkable Paper Pro is a device for you to go, or if you want to purchase an Onyx Books Tab Ultra C. I think Pro is now the way to go, because the other version that I have is not available any longer, but the screens are identical. Actually, the whole device is more or less the same, with only a few specs upgraded for the Pro version. I wish you a great end of the weekend, a great start into the new week, and see you the next time.